Right now, there is an incredibly high-stakes geopolitical ping-pong match playing out between the US and China. And it's all over the smallest, most complex objects we humans have ever manufactured, semiconductors. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack this fascinating, multi-layered competition involving export controls, talent restrictions, and some pretty wild breakthrough engineering. Plus, we'll see how all of this friction is sparking an absolutely furious market rally across the globe. When you look at today's completely parabolic chip valuations, you really have to ask the multi-trillion-dollar question. Is this just a permanent AI boom fueled by unstoppable demand? Or are we actually being set up for a historic, industry-shaking bust? Well, we're going to use the latest market data and geopolitical moves to answer exactly that. Let's start with Section 1, the AI chip bottleneck. Okay, to really understand the market, you kind of have to grasp the physical limits of the tech itself. For decades, the whole industry just ran on Moore's law. The idea that you can reliably double the number of transistors on a tiny chip every couple of years. But, well, that principle is actually starting to slow down. Shrinking transistors any further requires some incredibly sophisticated machinery. Right now, one company, ASML, has a total stranglehold on this extreme ultraviolet lithography tech. To put it in perspective, making these chips without it is like trying to paint the Mona Lisa with a single brush hair. Because ASML practically has a monopoly on this machinery, it's become the ultimate geopolitical choke point, especially for China. And that right there creates this wildly fascinating geopolitical stalemate. The U.S. strategy is super offensive. Impose strict export controls to totally starve China of those advanced ASML chip-making tools. China's counter-strategy, though, it's highly defensive. They figured, hey, if we can't import the hardware, we'll just aggressively hoard our human capital. So they're restricting the overseas travel of their absolute top AI talent. Moving right along to Section 2, China's talent travel ban. This is a massive escalation in the race for tech leadership. Up until now, it was mostly just college researchers, nuclear scientists, and state-owned executives who needed a government rubber stamp to travel abroad. But now, China's reach has extended straight into the private sector. If you're an AI professional or even building a startup in China right now, you literally must get explicit permission from authorities before traveling overseas, especially if you're heading to the US. They've declared AI a national strategic priority, which means firmly locking down the very scientists and researchers who actually built it. Which brings us to Section 3, Huawei's workaround breakthrough. But listen, China isn't just playing defense with its talent pool. That talent is actively innovating right around these US hardware restrictions. Huawei actually just announced this amazing conceptual breakthrough called logic folding, or Tao's law. It's kind of like folding paper into origami. This design method fundamentally changes how a signal passes through a transistor. By doing this, they can completely sidestep the need for that extreme miniaturization, totally bypassing those restricted lithography machines they're banned from getting. They're literally trying to innovate their way right through the US blockades. But wait a second, there was a pretty massive reality check here. While it's an incredible conceptual win for Chinese tech independence, experts are quick to point out that this tech has been theoretically pursued for a really long time. Actually solving the heat dissipation issues and getting yields high enough to be, profitable, that's a whole different ballgame. So while the U.S. export controls are definitely working right now, there's effectively a 10-year ticking clock before China might perfect mass producing this at a level that actually rivals Western competitors. All right, Section 4, the U.S. fortress. So, as China is busy building these long-term workarounds, what is the U.S. doing? Well, they certainly aren't standing still. America is working aggressively to secure its own supply chain through some truly staggering domestic investments. Micron, for example, isn't just building factories, they are building a domestic fortress. We are talking about a jaw-dropping $200 billion committed to long life-cycle chip fabrication plants, or fabs, right here in the United States, including massive new facilities in Idaho, New York, and Virginia. And this massive onshoring effort, it isn't just about silicon. It's a huge boost to the broader economy. Micron's CEO noted that bringing this semiconductor manufacturing back home is projected to generate roughly 90,000 new jobs in the U.S. Just think about the incredible scale this creates. To put it into perspective, today only about 10% of Micron's production happens in the U.S. But over the next 10 years, as all these multiple fabs ramp up, that U.S.-based production share is expected to absolutely skyrocket to a whopping 40%. They are fundamentally restructuring where the world's memory chips come from. Next up, Section 5, the trillion-dollar market rally.
So, you take this massive domestic spending, breakthrough workarounds, and fierce talent hoarding, and it's basically acting like absolute rocket fuel for global markets. We are witnessing a furious, highly volatile hardware rally right now. I mean, the overall semiconductor index is seeing these massive, erratic surges of 5% in single sessions. Qualcomm jumped 7% to a fresh record high just from securing ByteDance as a customer for their AI data centers. And emerging market tech, specifically the Korean memory chip makers, they're virtually carrying wider market indices to all-time highs entirely on their own shoulders.
The enthusiasm is literally off the charts. I mean, the market is so intensely focused on hardware that Micron recently saw an almost terrifying 17% spike in a single day. That sudden surge pushed them right up to the edge of an incredible $1 trillion company valuation. The market is completely pricing in an era of unprecedented, non-stop demand. Which brings us to our final part, Section 6, a boom or a bust. Because with these ballistic valuations across the tech sector, a lot of investors are nervously looking around and asking, can this momentum really last forever? Well, it's a very complex, volatile picture. On one hand, you have unstoppable AI optimism, massive adoption potential, and better than expected tech earnings driving the rally. But bubbling right under the surface, we've got severe macroeconomic risks. We're talking rising borrowing costs, potential global energy crises from all these power-hungry data centers, and supply chains that are still deeply fragile. And that brings us to a really critical warning from senior market analyst EPEC. While the massive demand for AI hardware might stretch out this current boom cycle way longer than we've ever seen before, just assuming the historical boom and bust nature of the memory chip industry is completely dead, that is a very dangerous mistake. Valuations have gone absolutely ballistic, and history tells us that corrections eventually happen. Which leaves us with one final critical thought to close out this explainer. Billions of dollars are pouring into this geopolitical tech war, driving valuations straight into the stratosphere as the US and China battle for total silicon supremacy. But as the hype reaches an absolute fever pitch, you really have to ask yourself, are you prepared for when the music eventually stops and the historic bust cycle returns? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.